Welcome, everybody. You are a dad, maybe, or maybe you are a teacher, and you are surrounded by kids. I have two kids. Let's just give me one second. Try to hide their pictures. So here, you can see them or not, because I respect their privacy in India. So, long story short, it's always a challenge to tell stories to kids to keep them engaged. I try to do it every day, and it's really challenging. So, why not use the Storytap framework that I created to help you tell better stories? I don't like to say to kids, I prefer to say to young adults because at the end of the day, they are not kids, they are young adults. So, without further ado, I propose that I launch the Okay, so I hope you like the picture here. For all the Star Wars fan out there, I hope I did not spoil it for you. So basically, we will explore how to tell stories for kids using the Storytap framework. Let me switch to the other screen. Okay, Storytap for kids. As a reminder, because I think I like to remind us what is Storytap. So Storytap is a storytelling framework which combine, let's say, the Dan Harmon story circle and therefore but of South Park creator. So basically, it is like this. If it's your first time discovering the Storytap framework, you can watch the other videos, link in the description below for those who are watching replay on YouTube. Back to the story. So basically, Storytap means set the stage, but the T has trigger a need, so you trigger a need in your audience. Therefore, you offer a solution, but it's you more share the why. And then after, once you have offered the solution, you then work them through the obstacles because there is no story without conflict and there is no conflict without obstacles. So each story that you are telling, make sure that there is conflict. Then after, once you have, let's say, share the conflict in your story, then here you eliminate the path. Eliminate the path means basically you have said where you want to go. This is where you offer the solution. Then after you have revealed the obstacle between where you are to now and where you want to go, and illuminate the path is working your audience through your story and how you can avoid or let's say go beyond those obstacles. And then T as transformation, what it means is basically as you are going on that journey to reach what you want to reach in your story or your who want to reach in the story, basically there is a transformation. So there is no story without transformation, meaning that there has to be a world before your story and the world after your story. And if there is no change, so your story has no point because at the end of the day, the point of a story is to convey a change. And then after, you have the transformation A as call for action, meaning that you are telling a story also in order to let's say to push the narrative forward because you want your audience to take an action. So a great story is a story where at the end of the story, after you have inspired your audience, you give them something to do. You make them now the hero. Once you have told the story of your hero, now it's like you are passing them the baton and telling them, okay, now it's your time. Now it's your turn to go out there and then make a change. So this is why a call for action is really, really important. And then the last P as impact, meaning you have to leave your audience with a long-lasting impact. It can be a story, it can be an inspiring quote, but at the end of the day, you have to leave them with, let's say, something that will be the lasting impact of your story. Now you may see this and say, okay, oh, that's great, but how can I use this framework to create stories that kids will enjoy? It's a big challenge. I know because I'm a father, and most of the time, my kids will Noah and Elijah. They will ask me, "Oh, Dad, can you let's do a fun exercise where we try to to come up with stories on the fly." So it's very challenging. So I'm happy to share this framework that I use with them. And from a customer feedback perspective, they are really very happy for this kind of storytelling framework. Okay, let's move to the next slide. So set the stage, very important. This is really where you have to hook your audience. So here you have the audience of young adults, of kids. You have to hook them instantly, and it's always have it make it relevant to them. So how can you? What does it translate into? Let's say Storytap for kids. So set the stage. I try to find a word which starts with S also. So I came up with spark their curiosity. So you have to really hook kids. You know, kids are like us. They have an attention span which is very low, and they can move to one thing to another. So it's really important to use, let's say, visual tricks. You can impersonate a character. You can sing. You can use visual aids. It's really important at the beginning of your story to really get their attention. This is really something that is important. You can also share some unexpected, let's say, information. I don't know. Did you know that in French we say mille pattes? I don't know how it is the English translation, but basically it's saying that an insect with one, it's called in English 1,000 legs. It does not have 1,000 legs, like an example, for instance. And then you really have to make a connection from the story that you are trying to tell and how it can be relevant, let's say, to the people you are, your audience, basically the kids. So what I will do in the next slides and in all along, as always, during this session, is also to use an example, a story that I built before, which try to apply to make it more concrete, more real for you, on how you can apply the Storytap framework for kids. So as I said in the stage, so first step, you have to spark their curiosity. I try to make it like spark their curiosity. Ooh, okay, some hearts. Thank you, Apple. Okay, then after you have set the stage. So imagine, let's say, once upon a time, I will take there was a very beautiful land where there are some little creatures. There are some ninjas. It's not like your normal ninjas. They are like warrior ninjas, and those ninjas they they didn't wear a black suits or so ninja stars. You know, they had a secret weapon. Their secret weapon was they know how to protect nature. So this is like you setting the stage with the kids. It's a story about young ninjas who has a superpower. They protect nature. We will go through the story at the end, so make sure to stick at the end if you want to know what is the end of the story. So here you have just sparked their curiosity. Then after, the second step of Storytap is trigger a need. This is something that is really very important. And each time you trigger a need, you have to create a sense of urgency. Why should the audience listen to your story now? So you have to present the problem and create a sense of urgency. How does it translate for Storytap for kids? I will try to make it big here. I'm switching screens, so bear with me. Okay, so basically, what you have to do is very, very simple. As I said, you have to make the problem relatable to them. For example, presenting the issue in a family context, it can be something that you can do. In terms of creating urgency, you can, let's say, for example, as always, instill a sense of immediate action. So this is something that is really, really important. And as always, story is about creating a connection, but not, I mean, not every connection, but very emotional connections. Because story is all about emotion. So make sure that you are creating an emotional connection within your story. This is something that is really important. And then after, for kids, you have to frame that challenge, let's say, as a secret mission. So that's why in the triggers the need, I found that for kids, maybe if triggering the need is telling them a secret mission, like, okay, kids, now we will go into an adventure. Yeah. Okay, then after, how can I translate this in my story with the little ninjas who have, let's say, superpowers, and their superpower is to protect the nature? Okay, so therefore, so I'm using the structure, but therefore from South Park, they live in a very beautiful land. I will not read everything that is written here, but basically, one day they notice that there is a change in the nature that where they are living. It was used to be beautiful, but there is something wrong, and there is a little ninja called Lily who said, "What's wrong? Our beautiful home is getting sick," because they see that their nature is kind of let's say it's changing. So they need to do something. There is a little monster who is polluting the land. He throws trash everywhere and doesn't care about nature. So this is not based on a true story, but you get the picture. So here really, you have set the stage, and then in that stage where you basically describe the world before the beginning of your story, so you then tell them a secret mission. So you're little ninjas, and you have the superpower to protect nature, and bam, nature is being attacked by a little monster who's throwing trash everywhere. So this is the second step. So you trigger a need, and basically what it translates to is you tell them a secret mission. Then after, O has offer a solution. So this is really where you introduce your big idea if you are telling a story, and you have to make it simple and memorable. So basically this is where you will share your why. So you have the golden circle from Simon Sinek. Simon, if you are watching this, feel free to like the video, hit the like button. So basically, this is where you introduce your why, your big idea. You have really to make it simple and memorable. So if you try to translate that into telling stories to kids, so offer a solution is outline the superpower. So before, so how can you outline the superpower? It's really simple. I will try to make it big again so that you can see the slides and not my face. Okay, okay. Outline the superpower, very simple. So you have always to state the main idea. So as I said, this is really where you are focusing on the why. It's not about all the details that you are talking about. Then maybe you can create a catchphrase because kids like rhymes or poems, etc. Out for something like our tribe is our vibe, or there is no tribe without vibe, something like that, for instance. And then you have to really to focus on one single core concept, meaning that it really has to be one thing. Your why should be one thing. So this is really important. And as always, make sure for kids to use visual aids. You can use a board to draw some stuff, etc. This is really will help, let's say, the kids be able to visualize what you are talking about. Okay, so coming back to our story, so we the little ninjas, they were in their world. Then after there is a little monster who is let's say trashing their nature, and then you outline their superpower. You introduce Grandma Ninja. Okay, so Grandma Ninja is like kind of a guide, like the Gandalf of the story. If you are fans of, let's say, Lord of the Rings, so the Grandma Ninja, she's let's say a wise old ninja, and she said, "Don't worry, my little ninjas. I have the super perfect power for you to defeat that monster, and that superpower is recycling." You can see that my pictures are AI generated, and if you see that there is no consistency between the different characters because I'm very bad at generating consistent AI characters. So I just do a prompt in Gemini and I take whatever picture, because for me the most important is not the picture, it's more like the story and the emotion. So yeah, so the grandma tell them is kind of their guide, offer them a solution. They are facing an issue, which is a monster polluting their land. And then the grandma is offering them a solution. They have the recycling power. Okay, what is the next step in this journey? There is no story without obstacles, because there is no story without conflict. So this is where R as reveal obstacles. This is really where you acknowledge, let's say, challenges. It means that in your story, it's really important that you say what are the challenges in your story, something that is really important, and then after you have to create tension. Creating tension is, let's say, there is something that, for example, in a story that your hero wants, and the obstacle is what is between where you are and what your heroes want. So this is something that is really, really important to be able to reveal obstacles. Okay, let me come back here. I'm trying to jump between two screens, so I have lost my mouse. Okay, I found it again. Okay, so for skits reveal obstacles, I try to phrase it as roadblocks and villains. So this is really okay. For kids, you have really to acknowledge the challenges in order to build credibility, and you have to engage your audience by creating tension. So this is really something that is really important for kids. I mean, roadblocks and villains is something that because they are superheroes, so you need some roadblocks and some villains to be, let's say, the antagonist of the, if they are the protagonist, like the main character of the story. They need, let's say, bad guys, I would say. Okay, so reveal obstacles. So what does it mean for them? So now they want to recycle, but they don't know where how to recycle, where to recycle, and what they should recycle. So this is really something that they don't know yet. So this is where they have to. The obstacle is how to recycle. They don't know how to recycle because it's something that they have never done before. But Grandma Ninja is there to help them, let's say, uh, vanquish, I think he said in English, to overcome or to vanquish that little, I would say, not so kind little monster that is polluting their land. So reveal obstacles, roadblocks, and villains. This is really something important. Then, once you have laid out, let's say, all the challenges that your hero will face, then after you have to reveal the path. So it's like you have put some beacon lights all along the path to illuminate, let's say, the path up to victory. And it means, for instance, you have the obstacles, and you will. This is where, really, in your story, you will share the what and the how. And then, so it's more like you show don't tell, as you can see here, and this is where you provide the how. Okay, so how does it look like in stories for kids? Jump here, make it full screen, come back here. So basically, you have to define some specific strategy. For example, if in this, I will see after how I created it in the story for kids. Really very simple. It can be defining steps for children to follow. For instance, if it is a story, you have to address obstacles. This is something that is really important. It's also showing to kids that if there are some obstacles, they can overcome those challenges. And then, as always, for kids, it's really helpful to be very visual. You can use visual aids, something like that, that can really help you. Tell your story. I will just come back here, and here I will share the visual aid I use with my kids. Just wait a second. Yes, this is it. This is where sometimes with my kids we use this board to try to write stories, and I can use also this one. So this is my visual aid when I'm doing some storytelling exercise with my kids. I'm coming back soon. Okay, back to our storytelling framework. So we are here on Illuminate the Path. As a reminder, it is really this step is where you share how you will overcome the obstacles in the journey. So how does it translate into our story? So Grandma Ninja smiled, and then after That's how ninja skills come in. They will learn the secret of recycling, and then after, Grandma Ninja shows them, let's say, different pictures of different recycling bins. So this picture is totally AI generated. And then she told them the different symbols that there is in each, let's say, garbage can where they should throw what. And then after, this is how they will save their land by learning how to recycle and to make sure that they are not throwing things into nature. I mean, they will stop, let's say, the little monster by taking the trash out of nature and recycling it. Really a very simple framework, but it has to be very simple for kids to be able to really understand. So, okay. Then after, something that is really important in every story that you are telling is the transformation part, meaning really when you are in a journey, transformation is a very important ingredient because only if your character change, then they are transformed. That means that the story has an impact on your character. And if there is no transformation in your story will not have any impact in your audience also, because the audience will not see while you are telling them a story where it's the same before and after. So there is no change. So transformation is a way also to show change, to show to your audience that there is a world before, let's say, your story and the world after your story. It's like Avengers, you take Lord of the Rings, all great stories, Cinderella, for those who are Disney fans also. So basically, there is a before and after, and transformation is really as your hero is going through the challenges that they face. They will have some setbacks, they will have some failures, they will learn some new lessons, and by learning all those small things, they become, let's say, a new individuals, even if they will come back, as we'll see after, in a new world where the new, I mean, they will come back in the same world that they left before your story, but they will come with some additional, let's say, strings in their bow. I think that is say, we say in French, nouvelle corde à ton arc. Yeah, some new strings in their bow. So how can we translate this in our storytelling for kids? So T as transformation, make it big. Okay, T as transformation. What does it mean concretely? So you have to paint a vision uh, of a positive future. So future. I don't know. It's not a future like a function. Future of for the kids. So this is really something important because the kids are really visual. So you can draw something, use some practical visual aids that help you convey your story. And then after, it's really important to connect your story. You say, okay, this happened, but that happened, therefore this happened. To kind of give a kind of a logic in what you are trying to convey, let's say, to the kids. And then after, you can also, let's say, show to the kids that there are some other kids in some other part of the world, for example, who have implemented similar things that you are trying to ask them to implement, that have, let's say, been successful in a normal, let's say, storytelling framework. This is where you share your success stories, let's say. Okay, so we come back to our little story with the ninjas. So they then after they imagine a future, they envision a future, let's say, where the river sparkled again and trees, let's say, stood tall and proud. They saw happy animals everywhere, and then after, Leo said, if we all recycle, we can defeat the little monster and make our land beautiful again. So you get the picture. So this is really painting the future. They are not there yet, but with their superpower, they know that they can achieve it. So this is really something that is really important. I will just come back here to so that you can see me. Okay, it's not easy running a show alone. Okay, so back to the presentation. So A as call to action. So you are telling a story because you want to ask the audience to take action, meaning that the purpose of the story is to inspire, for example, to educate, entertain, or inspire. In that case, the call to action is something that is really important. At the end of your story, you have really to make sure that you have a clear call to action. Because if you don't have a call to action, there is no point in your story because you are not engaging with your audience. You are just you just come and drop your story, and then, like we say on LinkedIn, you post and ghost. Basically, you are gone. So call to action is something that is really important if you want, let's say, to make your audience active participants on that story. You want them, let's say, to be, let's say, the season two of your story. The season one of your story is you telling the story. The season two of your story is your audience, let's say, taking action and then being the hero on that new season of your story. So this is really something that is really important. So you have to make a clear request. Don't have two or three call to action. Just one call to action, which is simple, clear, and it has to be done right now. Or as we say in at work, sometimes you receive an email and then or a chat to a colleague, and the colleague asks you, when do you want it? And then no, I ask my colleague, okay, when do you want it? And she replied to me, I want it yesterday. So it's really important to have this sense of urgency because you are telling a story so that people can take action. And then if people have to take action, if people have to take action, they have to take action now. This is really something that is important. Let's go back to our story with no before going back to the story. Let's just do a deep dive on more how you can implement it in a more actionable way. I will make it okay back here. So action call to action for kids is more assemble the teams. So as I said, a very clear request. If you are telling a story to kids, you have to really make sure that you what is the call to action, the a clear request that you want them to take at the end of your story. Uh, and then after, it's really important to instill in urgency why they should take action and why they should take action now. And yeah, you have to make it fun also because I mean, it's a story that you are telling to kids. So maybe you can, let's say, ask them to take action like a kind of a game. For example, I don't know if they are in a park and they have to collect all the garbage and then put it in garbage cans and yeah, some kind of adventure or game to make sure that at least it's fun for kids. So if you come back to our, let's say, assemble the team for the ninjas. So the natural ninjas, they were ready for their mission. They went back to their home and told their family and friends how to recycle. They even organized a ninja recycling day at their school, where everyone learned the recycling codes and took a pledge to protect nature. So this is where they say the call to action is very simple. Is in this story is the little ninjas they learn how to recycle, and then after they spread the word to their friends, their family, at home and at school. So this is really something kind of a game that you can do to make sure that, let's say, the kids are really into your story. So make sure that you have in your story um, make really sure that in your story you have a very simple, clear to action if you have to tell a story to kids. So this is really something that is key. Let's jump to the next slide. P has impact, so and in a high note. So this is really something that is important, and then create a lasting bond. The way I see it is really that end on a high note and create a lasting bond. It's, let's say, the last impression is the lasting impression, meaning that you can, for instance, do a recall to your call to action. You can finish with, let's say, an inspiring quote. You can finish with another story because you can do a story within a story, like Russian dolls storytelling style. I know that Russia has a bad press right now, but Russian dolls, you get the concept. So really, this is something that is important because at the end of your story, it should not be the end of your story. Meaning that the end of you telling the story is just the season one of that story. Must be a second season, and the link from season one to season two, where your audience are taking ownership of your story and acting on your call to action, is really something that you can nail or secure in the last, let's say, the last part, which is the lasting impact. So if you go into details on how to do that for kids, um, like this. So, lasting bond, something that is really important, memorable conclusion, and you can also reinforce the takeaways. Takeaways. So this is something that is important. So establishing ongoing support and gratitude. So basically, if it is a story, you can tell to the kids, okay, thank you very much for being the new heroes, and I rely on you to go and spread the word. For example, you can, I don't know, take the superhero which is trending right now for kids. For me, for example, is Paw Patrol, or in French we say Pat Patrouille, to not mispronounce it. So basically, I say, oh, okay, maybe I don't know, Chase or Raider is told me this, for example, or super cycling. I think it's Ruben the character who is like super cycling, something like that. I'm not sure. And make really keep points fun and memorable for kids. This is really something that is important, meaning that it has to be fun because at the end of the day, we are really talking about storytelling for kids. So how does we translate this into the story? So as a reminder, we are talking about Little Ninjas. Okay. And you know what? It worked slowly but surely. The land started to heal and everything else started to get back to normal. Whoa, we did it, so said the ninjas. We saved our home. You certainly did it, my little ninjas. Remember, even the smallest ninja can make a big difference when they use their power for good. So this is kind of the lasting impact you are trying to share in your story, empowering, let's say, the little kids to tell them that all of us, we can make a difference, and that it's really important to um, to take action. So this is something that is really important in that story. Okay, so coming back here, we are almost there. So just as a reminder of the different steps of Storytap, but applied to telling stories to young audiences. So we have the first one normally, which is S as set the stage, which have transformed. If I find my mouse, okay, it's here, like spark their curiosity. T normally is trigger a need in a normal story. So here you tell them a secret mission. O is offer a solution, but here you outline superpowers. R is reveal obstacles. So here I translate it into roadblocks and villains. Y as, let's say, illuminate the path. So here it's invent gadgets. T as transformation, like that. And then A as assemble the team, and P as impact. So here you have it from the normal storytelling framework that you have here, so the Storytap framework, to Storytap for kids, like this. It's really something that is simple and really I have tested it with my kids. I will come back here. So yes, I have tested it with my kids, and I can ensure that it's really working. And the Storytap framework is really a very flexible framework that you can use in many different situations. I have already shared how to use it at work. I have shared also how to use it for internal reflection, because we are the first, let's say, audience to the stories that we tell ourselves in our head. So Storytap, using Storytap or storytelling frameworks can also help you tell yourself better stories. We are almost there. So if you have found value in this video, you can hit the like button. You can send. I try to make some hearts with my. No, it's not working. Okay, I try. Okay, let's go back to finish this live session. Coming back here. Okay. One more thing. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are watching this on YouTube, or to follow me on LinkedIn if you are watching this on LinkedIn. And also make sure to stay connected because the next episode I will talk about how you can use Storytap for your customer journey. You are doing marketing and you want to offer products. How you can make sure that your customer journey is the right one using Storytap framework. So this is really something that I'm very excited to share with you. Make sure to subscribe, as I said, and I'm also on Substck, and make sure that you are there. So yeah, just to finish, if you have found value in this presentation and all the past and future presentations, you can follow me on LinkedIn. If you can find my mouse, yes, you can follow me on LinkedIn. You can scan the QR code so that we can connect. And I'm sharing, let's say, this kind of presentation. I'm sharing them also on my Substack, Storytap newsletter on Substack. So make sure that you scan the QR code, and then you can download directly all the PDF version of this presentation, so that if you want it, you can use it. The Storytap framework is really meant to be something simple to use, something memorable, because you have story in the framework, and you can really write down in a piece of paper all the steps, and then you can start to write your story on the fly. This is really, for me, the most powerful part of the Storytap framework. So it gives you a simple framework, and all you have to focus on is just, let's say, creating the content for each step, and then it will make sure that you will nail your story. For sure, let's say storytelling is just, let's say, just the foundation. The framework is the foundation. Then you have to know how to do your reps, to prepare. You have to know, let's say, how to deliver, how to own the stage, how to use, let's say, your voice. Sometimes you can come closer to the camera. Sometimes you can go back. Sometimes you can scream to share your energy. Sometimes you can be very low, like if you are whispering to your audience. So those are other steps. If you are interested to explore those steps, leave a comment in the section below, and then after I will make sure that I will make some specific sessions about that. Thank you very much for being here with me today. Yes, thank you very much. I will try to make the heart thing again with my yes. No. Okay. Like this, maybe? Okay. Anyway, it does not work. So make sure, let's say, to connect with me. Make sure to use the material that I'm sharing to tell stories. And if you are telling stories, you are sharing them on social media, make sure to tag me so that I can be inspired also by your stories, because I'm sharing this storytelling framework to make sure that also many people can more focus on the content of their story, and not trying to find different frameworks. The framework is very simple. It's Storytap. You use it. You fill in each step, and then after you just have to focus on preparing, and also then after just delivering. I'm sure that you will tell your story, and that your story will make a difference. Until then, I wish you a very happening right now. Happy day. Today is Friday, so fun Friday for me. I wish you a very nice weekend. Take time to disconnect from the virtual world and connect to the real world. Go and touch some grass, for instance. Until then, I hope you are sound and safe, and I say see you next time, where I will discuss about how to use Storytap for your customer journey. Bye.